Hello, good people. Today I'm going to be talking to you about something very important. So if you're a first-time investor, you need to watch this video to the very end because I'm about to spill something that will be beneficial to you. So how do you spend your first investment capital? Should it be for cash flow, like for rental properties to make money, or should it be for your family? My name is Uche Ihebuzo, and I bring clarity to youth, anything concerning Lagos real estate. And if this is your first time on this channel, kindly click the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my videos. Keep watching. Thank you. Okay, so guys, how should you spend your first investment capital? This is a very tricky one because a lot of people still haven't understood it. This is going to be a short video. Now, to most first-time investors, they think the first thing they need to do is to spend their money on their family when it comes to properties. While that is very caring of you to cater for your family, I must be honest with you, it is not a wise investment decision. Any property, any asset you are acquiring, by the way, what is the meaning of definition of asset? Asset is any investment that brings you revenue, that generates income. So any property you have that does not generate you income is a liability. So why will you want to spend your first investment capital on a liability? The home you live in, you reside in with your family is not an asset, it's a liability. Because asset is something that generates you income, while liability is something that takes money from you. The house you live in takes money from you, e.g. maintenance fee. So the house you're living in, if you're living in your own house, you're a landlord, is a liability. So why will you want to spend your first major capital on a liability? So you're not different from those who spend their first capital on fancy cars, luxury cars. So the property you are buying for personal use should be, the money for it should be generated from your investment property. So to their first-time investors, even those who have been investing in the past, it's important to have this real estate education. It's very, very important. Spend that money on purely investment. Spend it on pure and let the investment generate you money that you can now spend on your luxury items. Because that house you want to buy for personal use, like I said, is liability. Let your assets generate money for your liability and not the other way around. So even if you want to buy your fancy cars, first of all, build your assets and then accumulate them. And voila, over time, when people see you using luxury items, they wonder where it's coming from. It's being paid for by your investment. That is the best investment decision you can ever have, especially if you are a beginner. If you are a beginner, please, there's nothing wrong in being a tenant. There's a myth in this Lagos that everybody wants to sack their landlord. Why do you want to sack your landlord? Your landlord is not responsible for your state. Your landlord is not responsible for your life. There's nothing wrong in being a tenant and being a landlord at the same time. You can be somebody's tenant and be a landlord to other people. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially if when your investment capital cannot afford you that property that your family needs. For instance, I've had a couple of people who said to me, what do I need a 2-bedroom apartment for? What do I need a 3-bedroom apartment? It's not enough for my family. I need a big house. Guess what? You can't spend, for instance, 60 million, 50 million to buy a big house when you do not have an investment that is yielding you good money. No, it is still okay to remain a tenant where you are. Spend on what you can afford. If what you can afford is 2-bedroom apartment, do not wait until when you can afford 4-bedroom duplex. Please, Because by the time you wait to get that money, the price would have tripled, especially in a city like Lagos, where there's high demand. There's high demand, and because there's high demand, there is always high appreciation in properties. So you key into anyone that you can afford, even if it's 1-bedroom apartment. Put your money into it and let it generate you money. If you check my previous videos on where I showed you how to spot profitable locations, that video will be very useful. In that video, I broke it into 3 categories on how you should spot profitable locations for your investments. I hope this makes a lot of sense, because it's not enough for you to have money to spend. You need real estate education. You need to understand what you're investing in. For instance, most of my clients that come to me, I have a series of questions that you have to answer. I'm sorry, some people do not like it, but the reason I ask these questions is because I want to be on the same page with you. I want to understand you. I want to be clear with what you already know and what you may not know, because it doesn't matter how long you have been investing. You need to check the current trends. You need to check what is going on in the property market. So a lot of people have properties everywhere, and they are not able to squeeze out income, to squeeze out money from these properties. Why? Because they fail to ask the right questions. So for me, it's not just about having enough money to buy properties. Why are you buying the property? How are you buying the property? Is the cost of the property worth it? So once again, to first-time investors, this video is particularly for you, because if you're just starting, you need to get it right. And as you go on, as you acquire assets, you learn more. You learn more in what. So for instance, in Lagos, Nigeria now, everybody knows the concept of off-plan. Off-plan has made it easy for a lot of people to step up and try to buy properties for themselves, right? So you make initial, like where I am right now, this is a lovely estate that is developed based on the off-plan concept. So off-plan is when you commit your money while the developer builds for you, while they take off all the stress from you, right? And they build for you. So they develop a full-blown estate. Estates like this, you can ask questions. Ask how you can come in. Find out what you can afford. There are many estates in Lagos, especially in this Lekki area. By the way, I'm somewhere off Ogongo Road by Brahmadesoya, Aja, Lekki. That's where I am right now. There are a lot of estates. You find out the one you can key into. Start investing. It's not just about your family first. If you want to secure something for your family, you start by getting cash flow. You start by investing proper, not by buying them, sinking so much money just to accommodate your family, and that's liability for you. Instead of having different apartments that are yielding you money, you need to first of all find out how you can multiply your money. When you multiply that money, the proceeds is what should buy a home for your family. I am sure this message is very clear. Think investment first. Think investment first, not pleasure. Because that's the only way you'll be planning right for your family. So if you're a millennial here, I encourage all of you. Many millennials are doing great. Most of you are not folding your arms and waiting to get inheritance from your parents. Kudos to all of you, but it is important you get it right. If you give me a call, ask me any questions, right? And I'll be able to explain to you where you should put in your money, and at the point you should do that, and when you should step back and wait a little before you can invest your money. So the major things here: think investments when you want to start, especially if it's your first investment capital. Ask questions. Do not be ashamed to be a tenant. There is nothing shameful about being a tenant. There's nothing wrong with that. So stop all the sack your landlord syndrome. Stay where you are and acquire assets. And then when you're leaving your landlord's house, you can be a proud owner of properties, portfolio of properties. That is how it works. Because in this day and age, properties is not just for the rich, it's for the smart. Thank you very much. My name is Uche Ihe. If this video was useful to you, click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you do not miss any of my videos. Thank you. See you in the next one.